Okay, this is session 3 of Children of the Eight-Legged She, our second series in the We Hunt the Keepers campaign. This series, Children of the Eight-Legged She, is dense with mysteries. There's a lot going on, and I want to take a minute to recap those things just so that you guys are so it's all at the top of your minds. Some of these mysteries are not connected to one another or connected to anything like in the immediate story, and so it's kind of just on you guys to explore and cope with whatever you want to do. You have your overarching mission of finding and killing the keeper, right? To hang everything on if you need to. So here's what we know so far. After we go through this sort of recap of the mysteries, then we'll kind of talk a little bit about like flags and all that stuff. So a few things that we know so far. We have this kid, Simon, who has spiders, at least one spider, living inside his body. Malgoliant, the Eight-Legged She, wanted Archon to acquire this boy for some unknown purpose. That's what we know. That we know he seems like a good kid. He doesn't seem like particularly malevolent himself, but we know that when no one's looking, he has a spider that crawls out of his mouth and like feeds on his blood or something. I don't know, like it does something. So that's a thing. We have this mage, Brandon Barkbender, who is from Logan's Order, who's involved in the study of the First Forest. He has been turned into a tree himself. The nature of why that might be is unclear. However, one of the Grey Rangers suggested that Brandon is now sort of all around you, implying that he's like everywhere in the forest now, and that he is somehow connected to the task the Grey Rangers have set themselves on, this cause of keeping back the Bleakwood, right? Their ostensible cause, anyway. The Grey Rangers themselves we know that their children are routinely kidnapped and or taken by the Shadow Court. We know that they keep their bodies mostly covered. In fact, only their faces are usually exposed. One of these Grey Rangers, Magnus, his arm is yellow. It's mustard yellow in color. But we also know that this Magnus, from Archon's impressions of him, we know that Magnus is false in some way. That if the Grey Rangers are in state A, Magnus is in state B. There is a falsity to Magnus, okay? Magnus has been caring for strange creatures in his basement. Speaking of basements, we know that there's moaning coming from at least one of the cabin's basements. I don't know if I made that clear last time, but it was definitely the moaning of a person, okay? It wasn't like the moaning or groaning of a creature. It was a person down in the basement. And when we last saw Weary, he was going to investigate that. The Bleakwood mysteries. Logan witnessed a donkey cart with a person wrapped in a tarp coming out of the Bleakwood on a well-worn path. It's something that's happened before. The Grey Rangers came out and assisted this person who was in the cart, who was alive, but we didn't really get a good look at the person in the cart. Some other little side mysteries. The thing that just happened is that Weary is suddenly aware of his skin being translucent. In terms of his arm anyway, he can see his bone through his clear flesh and muscle tendon, and no apparent blood either. So it's clear blood, clear flesh, clear muscle, bone. All right, and that's what we kind of like left off of. As far as like loose ends from previous sessions go, just to keep it at the forefront of your mind, I have the mirror with Caspian Gaul inside of it, or at least some version of his consciousness inside the mirror. We have, what else do we have? We've got all the other key things that we've been collecting since the beginning of the whole campaign, and then I think that's it. Did I forget anything? That felt like a thorough recap, but can you think of anything else that I didn't mention? All right, then in that case, I'll turn it over to you guys to talk about your flags for a minute. If there's something in particular you'd like to see hit this session, make sure you let the other players know. I'm gonna go on mute while I pull up my notes and stuff.
Okay, so Hemet's flags are show me the disparity of my size, and give me a chance to fit in with those outside of my tribe. And I think we've hit those pretty well so far in the series. My third is allow me to challenge your faith in an institution. And I think challenging the faith in these Grey Rangers might be a good place to hit this session.
Wouldn't doesn't it need to be another player character's faith?
Um, so you were taken from the Grey Rangers, so this might be if that discovery ends up happening. This could also be we trust them to a certain extent, so it can be a challenge in. I could see it as a challenge in their faith. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I think mine are working well too. Send me into the shadows, believe a lie I've told you, and then ask me some sort of obscure history that I'll get wrong because of my indoctrination, basically.
I think we're going to learn a fair amount about Weary.
Yeah.
And his backstory before this is over.
One of his backstories, you never know which one is true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
People are tired of his backstory.
Archon, how are your flags looking?
I think they are fine. Let me explore your mind with my powers, like always and always again. And I think what I want to differentiate from that, and I consciously did so last time, helped me learning about empathy. It doesn't always need to mean that I go deep into the brain directly. So empathy. For example, I could imagine having a scene with Hammett talking about his daggers, because that was also like a decision. I wanted to see like how much he's attached to them and what's happening if he loses them.
Yeah,
placing one of the
be just like talking with the other characters, right, and having like empathetic moments as opposed to like literal psychic empathy.
Yeah, that would be too blunt. Exactly. Yeah.
And I think I wanted to hit Logan's exploit my magic for personal gain right away because I was like, my arm is fucked up. Come help me.
Oh, you broke up Fraser. Say that again.
I want to hit Logan's flag with his use my magic for personal gain because my arm is fucked up. So my personal gain is not be fucked up.
Indeed, indeed. Logan, how are your flags looking? You still happy with them?
I think so. Sorry, I've been like cutting out a whole bunch. My computer's been installing updates because when you're running a video call is naturally the time when you want to install updates.
Right.
Try to get I'm still happy with mine.
Okay. I'm gonna look at them. I'm gonna look at all the flags just to see if I have any questions or just any opportunities for me to like help frame up a scene to make them happen. I think the really interesting one, Hemet, the allow me to challenge your faith in an institution. I think that's going to be really interesting because you guys don't have all the pieces of the puzzle yet. And so it might be kind of getting around to that one might be interesting. I guess what I would just say is like, keep your, until you learn a little bit more about the deeper mystery of the Grey Rangers, I would keep your expectations about how that might go in check a little bit because your thoughts may change pretty drastically about all that stuff.
Okay.
But I think there's definitely an opportunity there though, especially like as Weary learns a little bit more about like his nature and his past. Otherwise, I feel like there's some of these should be pretty easy to hit just in downtime scenes. I know what Weary was up to at the very end when we left he was discovering an arm being transcendent, but where was everybody else? Were you all just at that dinner gathering, or was anybody else in any kind of like hot situation that I'm not remembering right
I know I was in a conversation with someone on the edges, and they said something derogatory, but I can't remember exactly what it was. All I know is there was the potential that I was going to like not be cool with it.
You were talking to an old man, an old Grey Ranger, who said that Brandon Barkbender was all around you in the trees, right? And that he suggested that Brandon Barkbender was now a martyr for the cause or something like that, right? Basically suggesting that Brandon was like serving some kind of purpose for the Grey Rangers, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's one of our mysteries. Okay.
Emmett made a friend.
That's right.
Who'd you become a friend
Yeah.
with? Emmett, remind me.
Yeah. Van the Grey Ranger.
Van, yeah, that's Veritas. Veritas's son, and presumably Weary's brother, right? We never learned the sister's name, right? I don't think we learned the sister's name. Yeah. Okay, so Weary, you're looking down at your arm. You were trying to sneak into a cabin, right? There's one of the cabins where you heard the moaning coming from the basement, or where someone heard the moaning and you're following up on it. It's nighttime. There's a faint illumination in the area from basically like the fires that they set up around the main lodge, you know. And so you've got like a little bit of like ambient glow there, and there might even be like a little oil lamp hanging from the overhang on the porch of this little cabin, right? In any case, you can see that your left arm is all the way up to the fingers and hand and everything. That you know, if you pull your gloves off and stuff, it's translucent. The muscle is translucent. The blood is translucent. We just see it. Just looks like white gelatinous body structure around, or clear gelatinous body structure around bone, right? So you can just basically see your bones as you move your hand and your arm around. What do you do?
I think there's like a moment of shock where he like grabs that part to make sure it's like, I don't know, not falling out of him even or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he'll like do his best to cover the arm and sort of like try to stumble back and find Logan, because he thinks that this must be some magical bullshit, I guess, with his arm.
Are you going to just like go right into the middle of the gathering, or are you going to try to like skirt around the outskirt and grab Logan? Got it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can confirm what's happening there.
Yeah. I'll do my patented scare Logan techniques.
Patent pending. So
has that happened before?
Well, so
Yeah.
what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, I just keep to like, I imagine it's nighttime, so there's the campfire and stuff like that, and I keep to the darkness there, and then I want to sort of come up behind Logan and say like, I need your help, Logan, my arm, and then I sort of like do the dramatic reveal and be like, ah.
Well, Logan, have you turned to face him yet? That's the important thing here.
I'm sure.
When you turn to face him, you see that his face as well is perfectly clear, and you can see his skull through his.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I just
it
like
sounds like Weary. He's dressed like Weary, but it's very shocking, right?
Yeah,
He
I
looks
just like
Skeletor.
pull. Yeah, I just pull your hood down like further so like no one can see you. I'm like, what did you drink or eat? What did you do?
I went to the cabin, and I must have set off a trap or something.
I'll say you set off a trap. My good Lord, don't get anywhere near the firelight.
I don't plan to. Can you use your tricks to save me?
I don't. It's not just your arm, and stop showing me your arm. It's your whole body.
Also, to change him would be antithetical to your magic too, right? Which
What?
can't create like stillness or newness or structure or
Yeah,
permanence, right?
like I don't know what you want me to do, Weary, but
Cast a lightning bolt at you.
I'm not a flesh wielder.
Well, okay, so you've got the situation where you can't let Weary be seen now. Where do you guys go? What do you do?
I think we just like leave like everyone to their revelry, or solemn drinking, I guess, because they're not very cheery folk.
They're not super cheery, yeah.
Yeah, especially
Um,
after Hemet putting that guy in his place.
Oh yeah, that was a whole thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just find like mud or something, and I'm just like, you should probably like rub yourself in mud or something just so you look dirty rather than enchanted.
All right, sure, I'll do that. And I think he's doing it all like still in shock, right? Like trying to keep his wits about him, but there's like a jerkiness to his actions that like telegraph that he's in shock about everything.
How much of
Yeah.
your body do you cover with the mud? Just your face?
And whatever is showing, I think from
Okay, you can make that just your face. It's probably the easiest thing. So.
Yeah.
sure.
And I'm just like tapping my lips, like as he's doing this, like trying to think of something that I could do with this. And I have some ideas, but it could be dangerous, Weary.
Would you like to spot lore about this? What might be happening here?
Sure.
Go ahead and roll this in.
Snake eyes.
Oh, it's a magical mystery.
It's a magical mystery. While you guys are there, while he's like putting like mud on his face, being in a state of shock, Weary, I can't surprise you, so I will tell you right now that you're aware of it first. There's definitely something crawling down the tree towards you guys. It's about the size of like a cow, approximately, crawling down the tree. You hear it, but it's still kind of up in the darkness. You can't quite make out what it is. It just looks like a big black form. Let's cut away. Archon, what are you up to?
Well, there are several mysteries around me which I want to further explore. There's this yellow skin, and I think I will find my next opportunity when Magnus does something where can telekinetically like reveal his arm also to others, because I'm most interested in what the Grey Rangers would do about it. But even more importantly is like Hemet and his daggers.
So what you want to do is you want to expose his yellow arm to everyone else to see how they react.
If I have an opportunity, yes.
I love that. I think it's great, and I think your telekinesis can do that. Just give me the lead up to that. Like, what's Magnus doing? What are you doing? How does it look?
We're still sitting around the table and feasting around. I have, by the way, peppermint chewing gums with me, specialty from the last Foundry visit.
Do you give Simon those? Simon would probably like those as well.
Yeah, well,
The boy.
I hadn't thought about him because I never think about him. But well, if you want, you can have some. Then I ignore him again. But yeah, it's the boy we took with us. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can have some. So, but it's good for concentration and for everybody. And so, like, what Magnus is next to him, he's reaching over to get one of my chewing gums.
Mhm.
Very special thing. Like, you chew on it and it doesn't go away. It's interesting. You just keep chewing. Yeah. So I guess everybody wants to try it.
Right.
And when he reaches over, then it seems that there's a candle falling, like a candelabra or something, and it drops against his arm and reveals his arm, like that, directly over the fire.
Yeah, I'm into that. Give me a defy danger. I think what's at stake here is Magnus knows you did this, right? So.
Yeah, you shouldn't. No. So that's
and probably with dexterity or int. I don't know, wisdom, maybe wisdom, 2 wisdom.
I always roll wisdom. I think it's time for something else.
You could do dexterity. I think you make a case for dexterity too. Yeah, you can make a case for dexterity.
Yeah, it's like at least like whatever my mind does, it has to be planned by my hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so dexterity, I don't have a bonus, and so I only get a 5.
It's going to work. His arm is going to be clearly visible to people like around this table or whatever, and I think maybe Veritas is there when it happens, and Veritas says, like, he steps up, kind of like, he kind of interposes himself between Magnus and you, and he says, "Oh, brother, your sleeve got a little snagged there," and he like goes and covers Magnus's arm back up a little bit, right, indicating that they know, right?
Mhm.
And then like Magnus gives you a really, really hard, like direct look, right? Like as you did that, or as that happened, I think he's kind of like intuited and picked up on that you were somehow responsible for that happening, right? And I'm gonna hold the rest of my move.
Fight.
Hemant, what are you up to?
I think Hemet is just talking to Van and basically just hanging out, trying to develop relationships with the rest of the Grey Rangers.
Yeah.
I think he's talked a little bit about going out on patrol with them,
Mm-hmm.
and this might be finding out more about what that entails.
What else do we have left on the carouse? What else do I owe you? Do I owe you anything else from the carouse? Or
No, I don't think so.
okay, all right. In that case, since you've made the connection with Van, I will just let's do a custom move here. Give me a charisma roll, and basically the nature of the roll will kind of like determine, or the outcome will determine like how deep the information is that I give you.
I got a 10.
Great. Van is younger, right? He's one of the younger like members of the company here. He's still like in his like 30s, right? He's not like like a fresh-faced young man, but he's definitely one of the younger ones. And I think he begins to talk a little bit more about Weary, because remember, they've been interested in Weary, he and his father and his sister. And he says, he kind of like, I'm kind of just abstracting this conversation out a little bit, but he kind of like says, he asks a lot of questions about like what you know, and you've kind of like indicated, you don't know too well. He's just kind of, you guys are here doing your little whatever you guys are doing, and as it kind of goes on, he kind of lets reveal that children born of the Grey Rangers, there's a good chance they don't stick around, right? That someone takes them in the night, right? And if you press him on why that is the case, like why is that happening, he will let slip something along the lines of, it's because we're good at changing our physical appearance. And then he kind of realizes that he slips up a little bit, and he kind of says, I mean, we're good at, we're just sort of naturally, naturally good in the shadows, and good at blending in and things like that, right? Because of our environment and such. But he kind of was really kind of saying like it's a physiological thing, okay?
Yeah.
And so you begin to pick up this connection. There's something physiological going on with the Grey Rangers, right? And I think I'll let you have one more question. You just ask me a question too, then I'll answer it. Anything in the whole story?
Yeah, so actually one of the things that makes me curious is they said that their children are often taken.
Mhm.
There's some piece to that I'm curious about. Something about the children coming back? Do they actually go hunt for the children? Do they go look for them?
He says that sometimes in the past he's heard tell of them coming back as adults, but they're so shocked by what they discover that they don't stick around.
And I think my take on this, Hemet's take on this, is that basically he knows what it's like to be taken away from your people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's asking, what happens to these children?
Right. Yeah. I think he doesn't know the answer to that, but he does know that like these people who take them, it's because there's something special about like Grey Ranger people.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go to, speaking of our Grey Ranger scion and our wizard. what do you guys do? Weary, I'll let you act first. You see this big, like, dark form, like, crawling down the tree. You haven't quite made out what it is yet. And is everybody marking experience for their missed rolls? I didn't remind anybody, but I want to make sure you guys did that. So.
I think I didn't roll, did I? No.
No.
I think I am putting like the mud on my face, right? And then I hear like a snapping of a twig or whatever, and I sort of like freeze. And then there's like a dagger in my hand, and I say, "Hold, creature," and then I like look at what it might be with my dagger ready.
You hear a noise that sounds a little bit like, and then there's just like a blue beam like flies out from the general area of that inky darkness right at you. What do you do?
I'll like roll to the side, and if it's gonna hit Logan, then I like push him out of the way as I roll.
Define your dexterity. I think it's just you.
Let's see. 14.
Nice.
The most.
I'll take it. You dive. You roll out of the way, and Logan, the beam like hits the spot, like kind of right where Weary was hunkered over, and when it hits that spot, there's like a little blast of like cold air, and you can see that like the leaves and the ground cover have like been frozen. Logan, what do you do?
So that was a like luminescent beam of light, right? So
Yeah, like
probably,
a laser beam.
So it probably exposed whatever was up in the tree. Like, what did it look like? That it
Real
came
briefly,
from?
yeah, it's a you can't make out the colors or anything, but it's a big octopoid creature clinging to the tree.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Yeah, like a big octopoid creature with feathers. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I will probably get. Like, how high up the tree is it?
Like probably probably like near range, like like you can't like
Okay.
reach it. You'd have to like you can throw things at it, but not like otherwise reach it bodily.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start working some magic here, like as I'm moving out of its direct line of sight.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you. You're getting your spell ready. I'll let that be happening. Weary, you hear it. You hear it humming up again. What do you do?
I come out. I like just come out of the roll, and then I like flick my hand, and a dagger like goes zooming at it.
Nice. Are you going to try to? Are you trying to like hit and hurt the creature, or are you going to try to stop it from shooting the beam at Logan? I think that's kind of the important question here.
Yeah, like I'm more concerned with having it miss than hurting it.
Do defend. Roll defend on Logan.
Which is, let's see,
Plus con.
con.
The idea here is you're kind of letting Logan get his spell off, right?
Yeah, exactly. +1 con.
It's a classic D&D setup.
Oh, I got a 4.
Protect the wizard. Oh.
4 wizard. Broken
Alright.
down.
Go ahead and mark an XP. Wizard, you are protected. And the reason why is because the octopoid creature actually the beam, the dagger goes wide, doesn't do anything. And the beam just like shoots out. And Logan, you can see as you're readying your spell, you can see that it's actually coming out of the creature's like beak, inside the octopus. The beam shoots out, hits Weary, and like he just freezes right up. And just like falls down like stiff. Logan, what do you do? You can do your spell now.
So this attack seems magical in nature, right? Like this isn't a naturally occurring
No, this is not a naturally occurring creature, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Although, out of character, it actually kind of is. Yeah.
Right. I mean, there can be naturally occurring magic. Like, I just need to know, like,
Can you counterspell it? Is that what you're
that's
asking?
basically what I'm. Yeah, that's
No.
basically what I'm asking.
No,
You
it's
cannot
not a spell.
counterspell this.
No.
Okay.
It actually is a biological function of the creature.
Okay. Cool. Then, yeah, I'm just going to. I think I'm going to try and get Weary out of his predicament right now, rather than
Try to
directly attack the creature. Yeah.
So what do you do?
So I'm calling up a storm to strike lightning near Weary and start like a small fire to kind of thaw him out.
Okay. That sounds really dangerous if it goes wrong. But I'm into it. I'm into it. Heat this area up. Give it a spell.
Yeah, actually, I think like I'll just call a lightning bolt to strike this tree that the creature is on. So it'll probably dislodge the creature, and like that would cause heat too. That would thaw.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because if it strikes near enough, it might thaw him out. Right. I'm into that.
Yeah.
In any case, cast spell.
Okay. Snake Eyes again.
Fuck. Market XP. We shall come back. Not going well. All right. Well, so Archon. Your little ruse half worked. You learned something for sure, but I think Magnus. You probably know that Magnus is kind of onto you, right? A little bit. What do you do? Where do you go from there?
Well, Hammett is still at the table, right? I think it's time to share with him what I have learned.
Hemmet probably saw that too, especially if there was Hemmet may have seen the yellow arm. If you want to like kind of cut the chase on that.
Yeah.
So
I imagine that Hammett probably saw the yellow arm, but didn't notice at all. I mean, that's not unusual. I mean,
Yeah, it's time to make you a little bit more aware of that. Hammett, a whisper in your ear.
yes.
The beige creature of hoodwinking is strong here, deceiving us. There's something wrong with Magnus. Have you seen his arm?
I have. I've been talking with my new friend, Van, and he seems to be able to. He let it slip that he thinks that the Gray Rangers can change their body coloring. So their body coloring. So he actually said that this came up because he said some of their children are stolen from them and taken from them for this ability. Now he said it could have to do with the ability of them to disappear into shadow or to disappear into the forest, and he did not want to talk about any more of this. But I'm not sure. After putting pieces together, maybe Magnus's arm is yellow because he's undergoing some kind of change.
Now I understand why the others are aware of that. I think Logan and Weary are in danger.
Oh, you don't know the half of it.
They are aware that we know by now. We should look for them.
You don't think they can take care of themselves?
No.
Oh, okay. You know them better than I do, so we'll excuse ourselves to go back to our bunk and find them.
I think that's the plan.
Okay.
Can you still walk, or did you drink too much?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
You
I'm gonna
don't
get
have
back
such
to Logan.
big. It's a big. Right?
Logan, out of character, your lightning bolt's going to go wild. I will give you an option. You're going to hit the creature, which is, bravo. But you're also going to hit either you or Weary. Your choice.
Still crossing fingers. This might thaw him out if it does a little damage.
And it's damage of my choice, so it's going to be D10 plus 2.
Oh, shit. That's way more damage than I can do, Weary. So
it's a good lightning bolt. You hit the creature as well, though. The damage. You could give me the damage first for the creature. Roll D10 plus 2.
it's also a D10 plus 2. Okay,
Yes.
let me find a D10. Okay, rolling for the creature first. 4.
Okay, and now go ahead and roll on Weary.
10.
That will shake you out of your frozen state. You weren't like frozen through. You're just kind of like like seized up a little bit, right?
Right.
With cold. So you take 10 points of damage. Armor doesn't count. And the creature takes 4. It does dislodge the creature. It falls down into a big pile of it's orange, by the way, of orange. And I don't mean like variegated orange. I mean like fucking pumpkin orange. A pile of orange tentacles and feathers. It's quickly righting itself, though. Describe the lightning bolt. Like, how does that go, Logan? What does it look like when it arcs down from the sky or whatever?
I think it's
why
like
do you lose control?
Yeah, I think it's like on trajectory for like hitting the tree, but then the creature like shifts itself,
Mhm.
and the lightning, seeking the best way to get grounded, like sees like a closer link to the ground in this creature, hits the creature, and it arcs off the creature, hitting Weary.
Nice. That lightning bolt will be visible to everybody at the dinner, right? Like you guys will see it. Archon and Hemet, especially if you guys are making your way, like trying to find them. Wherever there's a lightning bolt that crashes out of the sky on a clear night, that probably means Logan is there. So you guys can use that as your beacon to go find them very quickly. But it's going to take a second. Weary, you're still kind of recovering. So Logan, the creature does right itself, and it's like sloughing its way toward you. What do you do?
I am going to redirect this magic to attack it directly, as opposed to like it's not casting a spell; it's black magic at this point.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead and roll black magic. I'm into it.
Okay. 6. I'm going to use 1 prepare to bump this up to a 7.
Okay, good. I need to pull up the mage playbook, or just read it. What happens on a 7 to 9?
Black magic on a 7 to 9. When you weave a spell to inflict plane, choose 2 tags and roll plus int. On a 7 to 9, I also choose 1. Okay, so how far away is it? Do I need to?
From you now, it's probably still near because it just falls.
Still near. Okay.
Yeah.
So I still need to choose near, and near, debilitating.
Okay.
And as I'm describing it, I would actually ask if you would give me piercing because of how I am attacking it.
Sure.
So, and then I have to choose 1. I choose 1. On a hit, on a 7, I also choose 1. Do you remember the casting saps your energy? You draw unwanted attention or put someone in a spot.
Okay, I can work with that.
All right, and here's why I'm asking for and attempting to justify having piercing 1. I am like doing this strange, like flipping through the air, dancing to weave this magic into existence. I release my cloak off of me, and it goes flying through the air, and all of those boar quills land like point side on the creature as my cloak like swirls around it, like cutting it up.
Oh, nice. I'm into that, and it's keeping it occupied too, right? Because he's like kind of in there. Yeah.
Right. That's why it would be
Debilitating,
debilitating. Yeah.
How much damage do you do?
I get to do a D8,
Hmm.
and then it will have piercing 1 less 1 damage for being debilitating. So that is 4 with 1 piercing.
Okay, awesome. That's all going on. It's just a swirl of cloth and orange blood and tentacles flopping around, flying around in a cyclone of chaos, right? Weary, you're kind of good. Hemet and Archon, you guys are running to the scene. This is about maybe it's far enough away from the main lodge to where like anybody who's over there can't tell what's happening. Okay, it's kind of that far, but not so far that you can't get there quickly. You guys are rushing up, and you see this weird scene, this weird transaction taking place with like burnt ground and partially frozen ground, and Weary, kind of like shaking off what appears to be like hoarfrost from his, hair and clothes. His face is smeared with mud for some fucking reason. Like you see Logan has no clothing on, just his underclothes, and his cloak is wrapping around this creature.
Right.
It's a very like weird, chaotic scene.
Yeah, underneath my cloak, I have just leather armor and a rapier.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it might even take you a minute to even realize that it's Logan, right? And then as you guys are rushing up, off in another direction, maybe like as if like somebody was approaching from the scene from another direction, but not from the direction of the lodge, but still fairly nearby. You hear like a whistle. It's like a loud, piercing whistle, like the kind of whistle you might use to like call a horse or a dog, right? That kind of thing. So I'm just going to ask Archon, what do you do? And actually, Hemet's more the action-oriented character here, I think. Hemet, what do you do first?
So first thing I do is I kind of stop in shock. I think as we're running this direction, I kind of pull up short, and I'm like, this is too crazy even for you guys. And I think then I pull out my daggers, and I'm going to ask them, what they think about this. So I took the heirloom move last session, which allows me to roll with charisma and ask my daggers something about what's going on. So I got a 10. And let me read to you what that means. The GM will give you a good detail. And this is from a dagger's perspective.
Sure. It's just going to say like enemy approaching from the side that the whistling came from. Okay.
Oh.
From that direction.
Archon, protect our
You
flank.
just get like trouble. You hear that whistle, and the daggers like are kind of like pulsating with like there's trouble in that coming from that way. That's not a whistle for help.
Right.
That's a whistle to come kill you.
Okay. So I'm gonna head towards the octopoid thing, but on my way, I'm gonna tell Archon, there's more people approaching. Cover us from the direction of the whistle.
Okay.
They look at you and they say, "That is what your dagger told you."
Yes, we can talk about that later, and I'm gonna jump on the cephalopod, the octopi thing.
Let's run.
You can just roll damage on it because it's debilitated. So if you want to just roll your damage on it, that's fine.
Okay. What did you say, Archon?
Seems they played with somebody's pet. You hear that whistle? I will go there.
Don't go. Just watch for them. I think they're coming to us. 10 damage.
Nice. That kills it. Describe killing it.
I think what this is that it, as I poke at it with, as I stab at it with the dagger, it kind of snaps back with its beak, and with the other hand, I take and stab right behind where the beak is. The flesh is kind of soft, and kind of the dagger eats through that flesh, and the beak kind of flops off to the side.
Nice. Awesome. Archon, assuming you're maybe a couple of paces away from this scene that's happening, right? Maybe you're kind of seeing it, and you're keeping your eye on that that direction in the like that in the dark woods. You start to hear a noise. It sounds a little bit like this. It's kind of like a approaching from the darkness. What do you do?
And it shouldn't escape. It will lead us to where we need to go. So
It's coming right at you. So the noise is getting closer.
then I'm ready to embrace it. Whatever it takes to keep it with me.
It's ready to embrace you as well. Coming out of the darkness, there's a large crab, a large crab-like creature. It's about the size of it's about as tall as a desk. Large crab-like creature covered in like fine blue fur, and it's making this like snuffling noise out of the general area of where its like mouth or whatever is, kind of like, and it's just like crabbing towards you and like ready to snap its little pinchers on you. What do you do?
They are a little bit more tiny. They are quite delicious. But at that size, I would prefer keeping their arms stick. So I try to grab the arm so that it can't attack me.
I think it's probably stronger and more powerful than you. This would be a really dangerous thing to do. Maybe even golden opportunity level of danger. You might want to.
When it touches me, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. It lunges forward to try to snap you with its pinchers. What do? You're just gonna grab it and try to hold the pinchers back.
Yes, and poor creature, when it touches me, it automatically gets a telekinetic strike because I leveled up, and from now on, my body is a weapon.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So read that move to us.
I think it's that I can roll hack and slash with wisdom.
Okay, awesome.
I need to hear.
Oh, so it's basically like your body is like a kind of like a
yes
psi weapon or something, right? Okay, none of that.
It's like some kind of electricity. You can imagine it like that. It's totally different, though.
Yeah, hack and slash. Go for it.
So. And I get a 13. That's okay for
Nice.
first demonstration of what I'm able to do from now on. Dear fellows, yes. Here I am.
So what happens? What do you do? What does it look like?
I roll damage, hack and slash damage.
What does it look like on screen? Like when you
on screen.
Yeah. What do we see in the movie version of this?
It touches me, and I touch it, and then you can see like blue, like flashes running from my body to its body. And if you can see in the astral world, then you can also see like little spirits crawling over it and biting it in its skin and through its skin. But not anybody can see that except for me, I think. Maybe Logan, if he really, really tries.
Nice. I'm into it. Roll your damage. Do you want to take its hit to roll an extra d6? You can decide after you roll the initial roll. Yes,
it has bitten me heavily, so I get 2 damage because it's 1 + 1.
Okay. Wow. It's super lame.
But it looks good.
It does look good, yeah. It snaps you like on the meat of your thigh with the other claw. Yeah, it does D10 plus 2.
That's fine.
Armor counts though. The worst thing is it also paralyzes you. You seize up and can't move. Let's take a quick 2-minute break. I'm going to refresh my coffee and we'll finish this fight. Or this fight will finish you.
So Garrett, you're in Guatemala. Guatemala, is that correct? Where are you? Where are you?
All right.
Ah.
Yep, you took a D10 plus 2. Did you note that, or did you roll it? Okay. Cool. I saw your note there. How much damage was that? Can't hear you.
That was only 3 points of damage.
Oh, good. Well, low rolls all around, so I guess that's okay, right?
We are still not ready to embrace ourselves.
Weary, you hear Archon cry out, and you see coming out of the darkness. You don't see Archon. He's out of character. He's paralyzed on the ground behind the creature. But you see the creature coming out to the clearing, huffling and snuffling, and it's like a blue crab, a big blue crab. What do you do?
Was it me?
Yep.
I think we get like a CG moment for the show where like it goes into like the cellular composition thing where it's all like frozen and ice and stuff, and then we get the zap of the lightning hit it. Right?
Who directed this movie? I think Michael Bay directed this movie.
Yeah, definitely. But it's like an EpiPen kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah, sure.
adrenaline or whatever. And I take out my bow and aim at the crab and try to shoot at it
Nice.
using like maybe the sounds as a thing.
Yeah, you can go for it. Roll volley.
And that's, I'm guessing it's going to be Dex.
Yes.
Volley. All right, let's do it. Nope. Stay, guys.
You guys are really fucking these rolls that bad.
Yeah. Well, I just at least I'll be able to level up now
I'm gonna pull up
if I live.
my play sheets. I don't have them pulled them up yet. All right. So, what'd you say?
I'd like to go next if possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Weary, you're going to shoot the crab creature, and I think the freezing beam had a deleterious effect on your bow, and it's made the structure of your bow bad. And I think you pull the string and the bow just cracks into several pieces, just cracks and crumbles in your hand. Hemet, what do you do?
Hemet sees the blue creature crab thing coming over this edge, and he knows that Archon was over there, and he raises his voice and lets out a battle cry and shouts loud enough for the Grey Rangers to hear, "Battle! We're being invaded!"
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that a move you're triggering, or are you just doing?
Oh, it's not. I'm just doing that. Yeah. I can't attack the blue crab thing. Move to it. Whatever.
Yeah, you can attack while you're doing that. If you wanted to try to get the Grey Range attention, I'm into that. Go for it.
Yeah.
Help me! Help me!
To me.
Indeed.
I rolled a 4 and so I've got a 6.
Okay.
Preparation.
Oh yeah, I'll use preparation
Okay.
to make that a 7.
You'll just be trading hits. Are you cool with that?
Oh yeah.
All
It's
right,
much better than a 6.
Indeed. We'll go ahead and roll your damage on it.
Okay. I got an 8.
Nice. Okay, I'm remembering what he's taken so far. Okay, cool. He's got a bit of armor because of his shell, but
Yep.
that's good. Describe your attack. What do you do?
So basically, I imagine this crab thing with fur has underneath the fur probably has some kind of shell. And I think the first dagger goes in and hits resistance and then slices on into the shell, so it kind of splits open a little bit and starts to ooze right there.
I'll give you a choice. I'll give you a choice on mine. You can either take the paralysis or the hit. It's up to you.
I'll take the hit.
Okay, D10 plus 2.
Yep. And I got a 4, so that's 6 minus armor.
Minus your armor. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Logan, what do you do?
I see that Hemet has cracked it open a little bit. and I'll like pull out my rapier and just like let the wind propel it into that
Nice.
crack and try and get some lightning to strike that metal object and cook it from the inside.
Black magic, I guess. It's very
Yeah.
fancy black magic. I'm into it.
Fancy black magic.
Yeah.
8. So this would be, I guess this is still near distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Near and elemental lightning.
Nice.
So those are the two.
That'll bypass its armor, so that's good.
Okay. And casting will sap my energy, so -1 to int until I have a few minutes.
Okay. Roll your damage.
Okay. 8.
That's enough to kill it. Describe it.
Yeah, so the blade goes whipping through the air. Like Hemet was showing me how to sword fight earlier, and I just used it as a lawn dart basically because I'm like, I don't know how to fight. So it goes flying into that crack he created, and I like shout to him, I'm like, get back! And like he can feel the hair on his head start to stand as he like dives away, and this lightning bolt comes arcing down and just cooks the creature from the inside. It takes like a few steps, but everyone can just smell like the burning blue hair from its body, and then everyone can smell what it smells like when you boil a crab.
Nice.
Ooh.
I am into it. Weary. The Grey Rangers arrive on scene. They're right behind you guys, and they're like, what's going on? What's going on? They see the bodies, they see what's going on, and they're like, they don't seem too surprised. They're like, God damn, more horrors from the Bleakwood, and they like, they're doing that. One of the Grey Rangers really like looks at you, Weary, and his eyes go really wide, like really, really wide, because I think the mud that was on your face like got frozen up a little bit and like flaked off and has fallen off, and you can kind of see your face, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
His eyes have gone really wide, but he's not like calling attention to it or anything. He's not being like, witch, burn him. It's not like that. Like he's, he's just like, like sees you, his eyes go a little wide, and then he goes to finish helping his companions, cope with these creatures and everything. And you might even like realize that the mud has fallen off your face a little bit, right?
Yeah. I'll make sure to like have my back to people after he sees me.
Indeed. So Veritas comes and he's asking like, what happened here, like, did it, where did these creatures come from and all that stuff. Logan, you were kind of most involved in that. What do you say or do?
Yeah, my cloak comes like whipping back from wherever it was and like gets back on me. And I'm just like, well, one of them was in the trees and the other one came from that direction. And the direction that I'm pointing that the blue crab came from, is that the direction of the Bleakwood?
Yeah, generally, I suppose. The Archon knows that Archon and Hemet know that the creature was brought there with a whistle, right? Like someone called that crab over to the scene, right? And so Veritas is like, he's like, one of the nightmares which we protect the southerly lands from are these hideous beasts, these nightmare beasts that come from the Bleakwood. We encounter them occasionally. It is highly unusual for two of them to be so near one another and to seek you out like this. Normally they tend to keep to themselves. They don't. Whenever we've found them and destroyed them, it's just been by happenstance, not because they're defiling the land in some way.
Are they beasts, or like do they breed in the Bleakwood?
And then they all get a little quiet, and they're like, "There are many mysteries in the Bleakwood. Perhaps we shall discuss them in the morning or some other day." And they begin to like grab the creatures and they'll like start taking like whatever they can from the creatures' bodies that might be useful or helpful. feathers and things like that.
Is
that
Archon
can I-
okay? Is he still paralyzed?
I would just say I can move my tongue again, and I would ask somebody to carry me back to the lodge.
It will eventually wear off after a few minutes, and you'll be able to come out of the wood or come out of the scrub and be with everybody else.
Yeah, I'm still talking around with like paralyzed, like after the dentist.
Definitely a Michael Bay movie.
So I think after the Grey Rangers leave, I will tell the rest of our group that someone called these things to us.
Or at least the blue one, at least blue crab. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whistle, and I don't think it was a happenstance that. Where are you see-through?
Right. Yeah, we're transparent.
Yeah, I'll say a trap had its way with me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and I've been mulling over how to maybe try and take care of that. Like we did with the sword, that Shadowfucker sword before, I might be able to leech it out of you and into a magic item.
Okay.
It could be dangerous, Weary. Are you sure?
I think there's like a pause, and then he like looks at his translucent flesh, and he's like, "I'm sure."
You may need to do a spout lore here, Logan, before you continue pursuing that line of inquiry.
All right.
Are you sure, Logan? You want to do that?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
7, 9. I'll spend my prep to bump it up to the 10.
Something interesting. This is not the effect of a magical trap or any kind of enchantment. The useful thing is this is Weary's natural state.
I'm a see-through.
Is it?
How do you know that?
Is this magical or arcane in any way?
You have heard tell of well, you can tell me how you know it, but you've heard of a race of translucent bone men, but these are just rumors, right? These are just like wild myths. How do you know all that stuff?
Okay, but it's like there's no magic to it. It's just how they are.
Just how they are. Yeah. But maybe it's magical in the sense of like it's unusual, but yeah. But it's strictly biological.
Yeah.
Or maybe you thought it was magic and now you realize the stories were maybe not magic. So, but how do you know all that?
Yeah. Like I know all of it because of the research I did before I came here. I described myself in that library where there's lots of books and looking up what might be out here. And this was one of the things we came across. It was like basically like a book on human and demi-human biology and unusual characteristics that may be seen in the world, and not like it makes lots of distinctions between like what like naturally occurs and what like might be magical in nature. And this was one that was like clearly on the biological scale, though it would easily be perceived as magical in nature
by lay people, right?
Yeah. And I like after I figure that out, after I figure out that that's what's going on and that it's not magical at all, like try to figure out how to break it to Weary. Listen, it's not magic. It's not poison. It's not dangerous. You've actually just discovered something about your ancestry. And there might be a way, it's unclear. We haven't had a lot of interaction with this particular line of people, but it's possible you might be able to turn it on and off. It might be induced by stress. It's unclear, but you're healthy. And I pop open like a few buttons on your shirt and like look at your like heart inside your rib cage, and you look pretty healthy.
Yeah, you can see you see his organs and his rib cage and all that. Yeah, spinal column.
Okay.
It might be as simple as a good night's rest makes it go away. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Take 2 and call me in the morning.
Yeah.
And Weary, I think properly chewing stuff is very good for your digestion.
Yeah.
I just see that well. Yeah.
I agree with Logan. That a good night's rest might make things look better in the morning, and if this hasn't resolved itself, I will help you, Weary, in the morning as best I can.
How?
But be aware, everything what Helmet does, he does with his daggers.
Yeah.
So I imagine that basically what this would look like in the morning is I'd use an adventuring gear to pull out some makeup from my sister.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant like help him like change his condition or whatever.
No,
right?
when I was gonna make up his face like
Indeed,
my
indeed,
sister
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, we might could work up some waterproof something.
Right? Yeah, I'm into it. Well, you guys are shown to a cabin. It's Veritas. He says, he feels kind of bad that like they didn't react quicker to like help you with these monsters. But they were all a little drunk. Was on the dwarven mead that you guys brought. Everybody was a little tipsy, and so not to suggest that was your fault, but just saying that was why. And you're all shown to a cabin that you can share. It's very simply appointed. It has just like 4 like little mats or whatever that you can sleep on, and maybe a little table and that kind of thing. A rug laid out over the ground on the floor. Anything you guys want to do in the night, or are you all good? Just want to wait till next morning?
Hemet doesn't actually feel comfortable in the cabin.
Okay.
He'll put his stuff in there and store it, but I think he's actually going to sleep outside. If there's woods nearby, he'll sleep outside, like at the wood edge. Otherwise, just outside the cabin.
Okay. Are you kind of keeping watch in a way, or?
Halfway. I don't think I'm laying down in front of the door, but I think I'm laying.
Right. Yeah. Like a guard dog. Nice.
Yeah,
What about everybody else?
I'm a little nervous about Hemet. Like I go out and see him, and I'm like, you realize these creatures came out of nowhere in the darkness. Are you sure you want to sleep out here?
It's better than being trapped inside of a cabin where you won't be able to move.
Well, I suppose I can understand that.
There must be elf blood in his veins.
Do you want to keep watch tonight? I'll split it with you if you do.
I don't believe that is what I'm suggesting, but I do pull out like a sack, and like dump it out, and it's like a bunch of cans and like a string, and I'm going to use an adventuring gear. I'm like, but I'll help you set this up if you want.
It's better than nothing. That sounds good.
Okay.
And we'll set up the little trap thing.
So like, you make like a little perimeter like can string thing in case somebody enters or whatever.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I'm into that. Awesome.
Friends, these creatures we have seen. When I touched the one, it reminded me so strongly of those colorful creatures I always talk about, in which you can only see if I share my mind with you. It feels like as if they are manifestations, and it's not a good thing. Whatever lives out there, whatever is in control of it, it's dangerous. Close to the keepers.
Any response?
So
Maybe I'll sleep outside too.
yeah. So you're saying those things were sent by the keepers? Is that what you're saying? Or that they are
I
keepers?
think the presence of the keepers could attract more of these creatures. Maybe
Oh,
they
okay,
also
so-
try to get in control of them.
Okay,
But don't
so,
be worried about Hammett. He has his daggers.
So sort of like the darkness in Mirkwood is that the keeper is the one drawing all the darkness to it, kind of thing.
It's just a theory. My connection to the spirit world is not perfect in this place, which is also a bad signal.
Mm. There's many
But
things
no.
in this place that are disconcerting.
We have a blue creature, we have an orange creature, and we have a ranger which is slowly turning yellow, and nobody is concerned.
I think you're a little caught up with colors and attributing them to
Yes.
things other than just their color.
Says the one who is like cuddling with his robes, morning, afternoon, and night.
Ooh, I have a good idea for a scene with Hammett. Then I think for the institution thing, I think we could set it up to hit both of our flags actually.
Frame it up. Is it at night while you guys are?
Yeah, I think maybe people are sleeping, except that Weary is understandably like
A
upset.
little
and not-
right. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably not getting much sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he goes out and I imagine it's sort of like he trips the perimeter like on purpose, like you hear the tinkling or whatever, and then when you look over, I'm there. And was Hammett sleeping as well and woken up by that, or was he up already?
Yeah, I think he was sleeping, and whenever he heard the noise, he immediately jumped up and rushed over there and saw you. He sees you kind of poised over where the string was.
Yeah. And I think Weary just like apologizes for accidentally hitting the perimeter kind of thing. But I think what he'll say is like some kind of like his whole Shadow Core thing is like a perversion of what the predominant religion believes. So his scripture is sort of like subtle changes within that same scripture. So instead of like Michael was a hero and slayed the beast or whatever, Michael was a villain because he slayed the beast. Like he was, that kind of stuff. So I think there's probably a story that he was told from the Shadow Court about clear people and how like evil they are just because they steal babies of clear people, probably, right? So it's like a natural, like, if you see clear people, these are bad people or slaves or something like that, right? Like nothing good about it.
And you should stay away from them.
Yeah. So I think he like expresses his discontent with like he clearly has failed in his teachings, and his punishment is becoming like one of these horrible creatures.
He's clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Where he's all about the puns, I think. In every session, there's always puns.
So, I'm not sure that this is actually a punishment that could be wished upon you by anyone. I think that this... I think usually you know what your actions are that cause this punishment. What horrible deed have you done that would deserve such a thing?
Well, for one, I consort with my fellow travelers. I was taught to always be diligent on my own and keep to myself, never relying upon somebody else ever.
And if you had done that, wouldn't you be dead now? I think that consorting with others is a good thing. We're able to help each other.
Well, I would perhaps be dead, but that weakness maybe festered inside of me, and this is what became of me.
I don't think the belief... Well, I'm not sure how much belief can change a person's appearance like this. I think from what Archon said, I think that you might have always been this way and not realized it.
From what Logan said, but yeah.
Was it Logan?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that is a good way to like challenge the institution, right? Because I think he has had like unyielding faith in this sort of weird religion, the shadow religion, and they teach that he is like an abomination, but the only reason he's alive is because of Hemet, and Hemet is like, well, you were born like this, right? So
Well, it's kind of perverse that they would like create this doctrine to basically prevent you from interacting with other translucent people, right? Like it's almost like
and like hating yourself basically.
yeah, it's like self-loathing, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So I think we talk for a while, and then if we have time to like level up in the night,
You can.
I have an idea for doing the connections move. And the connections one is like when you put word out to get something for the criminal network, except the criminal network would be like the shadow court.
Mhm.
And I think he's going to like attempt to try to like get some answers from one of the shadow court priests or something. So he sent word that he needs like a representative to come.
Got it. Yeah, I'm into that. Yeah, if anybody needs to level, you guys can level in the night. Archon and Logan, they had that scene. I just want to make sure there's nothing else you guys want to do this night before we continue to the morning. Yeah. Logan? Cool. Awesome. Let's just take our break now so that anybody who needs a level can level. Just take like 2 or 3 minutes while they do that, and then we'll come back. Right?
Okay.
Hi, Garrett.
Hi, Stephen.
Yes. Did you say you were in Guatemala?
Yes, I am.
What are you doing in Guatemala?
We have a time like a sabbatical.
Ah.
So, but it's longer. It's like for more than a year. We stay here.
And what are you doing while you're there?
I play like with the gauntlet.
Oh, okay. You're just living, just normal living. It's
Just
not
living,
like
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't have a job here or anything, but my son is going to school and I learn Spanish.
Ah.
That's
And where are you
the
originally
most
from?
useful activity. Germany,
Where in Germany?
Berlin.
Ah, nice. I
Yeah.
visited Berlin for 3 days last summer. It was very good.
Oh, cool. It was a trip through Europe or?
It was.
Okay.
I was in Germany for a work trip, and then I spent an extra week touring because I'd never been there before.
Oh, cool.
So my partner Lisa
We
came
could
over.
have met.
Oh yeah. My partner Lisa came over, and we spent 3 days in Germany. My work was in Munich. We went to Rothenburg and a few other places. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, David, are you back? Cool.
Yeah.
Archon, you have a dream in the night. A visitation by Malgoliant, the eight-legged she. And Malgoliant appears to you in the form of a woman, a gray-skinned woman with 6 arms. And she beckons you up off your little mat. And with her is the boy, Simon. And in the dream, the 3 of you walk in silence to the perimeter of the forest, all the way to the woods that we know to be the Bleakwood. And you're walking through the Bleakwood for some time. In your dream, there's nothing particularly about the Bleakwood that makes you think it's different, except that it has, in little small tiny ways, it appears alien. It has like some little small subtle indications that it's alien in nature compared to the rest of the forest. What do you see that makes you think that there's something alien about the Bleakwood? Just a detail of the geography.
The leaves, they are also shaped like as if they have 6 legs, like all the leaves.
Indeed. And she walks the 2 of you into, for some time through the Bleakwood in this dream, until you get to a tree. A tree that in your dream is significantly smaller than the trees around it. The trees of the Bleakwood in the first forest are quite large, right? But this tree looks like a sort of a normal size, like a big oak, like a big healthy oak. It has no leaves though, and the trunk and the branches, the bark, is a sort of bluish green color. Okay, like kind of a seafoamy green or a bluish green, and she seems to indicate with a sweep of her arms that the boy must go to the tree. And I'm spending one of my 3 hold on you right now. You will get to take an experience point if you take Simon deep into the Bleakwood to find this tree. Okay.
If I wake up in the night, I will do so immediately. Hopefully, I sleep till the morning, so my
You
companions
can sleep till the morning.
will.
Yeah, you can sleep till
So
the morning.
that is good. Otherwise, I would have left. So it's time for breakfast and then go to the. Let's see.
Indeed. Well, so what about so where you still look like you still have clear skin that hasn't cleared up, or it's not cleared up. So what's your plan here, Hemet? You were going to try to help him with this.
Yeah. So I think what this is. I think that after the bonding that we did last night, and the discussion in the middle of the night, I think I'm going to take Weary off inside the cabin probably. and I'm going to pull out one of my adventuring gear uses. This is some old makeup that I have back from whenever I was in my village with my sister.
Mhm.
And I made her up. She was younger than I was, and I would make her up. And I'm going to use some of it, or most of it, a lot of it, to kind of give him a face. So this isn't mud caked on. It actually adheres to the to the outside. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so it's basically like a sort of like flesh colored foundation or whatever that you put on his
Yeah.
skin. Yeah, got it. And I'm sure like if you pay close enough attention, it looks really uncanny or weird, right? Like in some way, right? But,
I also imagine
good at
that
the pass.
for role play purposes, if Fraser would like, maybe it looks feminine, or maybe it looks garish in some way. So
Oh yeah, because you know how to paint it like a to accentuate like feminine features or whatever. Yeah.
So I think during this process, I explained to Weary, I say, I had this makeup left over from my sister before she passed, and I used to make up my sister for special occasions back in my home, back in my tribe. And I kind of start to get a little sad, and then go back to kind of brushing things and get quiet. Yeah.
Oh, Hamlet, is it possible that I overhear that conversation?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. Because I'm really interested in this.
Oh, and by the way, Archon, I think you probably overheard, since you were nearby, and you probably overheard the conversation with my daggers last night. Yeah.
Okay.
Logan, what are you up to?
So how far away was the place of power where Brendan Barkbender was?
Oh, his tree, you mean?
Yeah.
It's probably like a good. I think we decided it was about like a quarter of a mile or an eighth of a mile away, like fairly
Okay.
close. But...
Yeah, so I think like before anyone else woke up, like this is probably what woke everyone up is me trying to enchant this sapphire ring that I've got in the morning. And basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put lightning in the ring.
Okay.
So it probably makes a lot of noise and wakes everyone up.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, I'm into this. And I think you're in close enough proximity to that tree and the bleak wood to like be able to draw the natural magics of this place to do this. Is that a move or your enchanter?
Yeah, it's enchanter move.
Okay, how does it go?
When you have time and safety with an item in a place of power, you may weave a spell to imbue it with magical power. Describe what kind of magic you want to imbue the item with, and roll plus int.
Okay, go for it.
10. On a 10 plus, choose 2. And there's 3 choices. The enchantment is permanent. The enchantment has no unknown side effects. And the enchantment does not have a weird limitation.
Okay.
I want it to have no unknown side effects and to not have a weird limitation. So it's probably not permanent.
Okay, I'm into that. I think the way it'll work is every time you use the ring, I'll just have you roll a d6, and if it comes up a 1, then the power's gone. So.
Okay.
But otherwise, what does the ring do?
I can use it to, in a pinch, like chain lightning.
Okay, great. Let's send a lightning bolt out or something. Okay, cool. It will. So you can put the ring in there. Just give the ring like an elemental lightning tag or something like that. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I bought that sapphire ring for that purpose a while back. So
awesome. I'm into it. Cool. Okay, well, so Weary, how are you feeling right now? Because you are still with this in your state. You're having a lot of conflicting feelings about like the doctrine that you've been taught in the Shadow Court. And if you look in a mirror, you're going to see that, oh, a mirror. We have a couple of mirrors. If you look in a mirror, you will see that how has your face been painted?
Yeah, I think it's more feminine, and I think it's like yeah, like I think it's just like still my face, but it's just less like hard, and he's less yeah, he's just like less hard, I think. But feeling wise, I think he's very like conflicted. And I took that move specifically so that he could like reach out to the Shadow Court and either like try to unravel what's going on and possibly start like even like be like a double agent or whatever and try
Yeah,
to
I'm into that.
unravel them from within.
How does the move work? Read it to us.
It is connections. When you put out word to the criminal underbelly about something you want or need, roll plus chaw. 10 plus someone has it just for you. 7 to 9, something close or strings attached.
Okay, I'm into that. How do you put word out?
I think I send that that scripture, like the same thing that I told Hemet about with like that same line from it
Mhm.
about how like clear people are bad or whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm sort of like doing what I'm supposed to be doing in like reporting where I am, but also being like a sort of subtle like I know. And what I want from them is like an explanation that will satiate me, or I'll like. Be
I guess
mad,
how are you
basically.
getting the word out? Though is what I want to know. Like, how are you? Because you guys are out in the middle of the forest. I mean, but really old.
Well, I just figure like with a postman going out or something, I send. a
Oh,
letter.
I see. Like maybe somebody comes through who like, okay, I'm into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's do the roll first. That might affect how this turns out. So how it looks.
Yeah. And the way
Plus
I've rolled
charisma.
today, probably. So, roll 2 plus 1. Oh yeah, hard fail.
Indeed.
Preparation isn't even helping me today. So,
Mark an XP.
I guess
So,
it'd be 1 extra, but it's. Or wait, what is that then? 4, 5, yeah, 6. So prep wouldn't help either way.
I think so. I think you maybe like had like a sealed note or whatever or something like that you were going to give to. I think there's like a Gray Ranger who goes out to the edge of the forest who like delivers like and receives like different drops
they're
of
like-
supplies and things like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm into that. And so you did all that. You did all that thinking it's all going to be good, and you guys will. It'll probably take a little while to get a response, but you guys might be here for a while, so who knows? I think Veritas walks up to you while you're just like kind of getting breakfast out in the camp and says, I hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty of opening your note. He holds it up. Straight up have a go at it. And
I think Weary gets like a little flustered and says that he just likes to send scripture when he's feeling unwell or something, like to someone, right?
he kind of crumples up the paper a little bit and he says, Weary, that's what you call yourself, yes?
Well, it's the name that was given to me,
Why was that name given to you? Why are you called Weary?
Because in the first trial for the Thieves Guild, you have to stand on a raised platform for a certain amount of time, and it's I barely passed. It's a joke between me and my fellow compatriots.
He says, I am familiar with this coded speak in your letter. It is known to me. And I know who you are, and I know where you've come from. It is probably best if you do not stay here for much longer. But I will confess that I have something of mixed feelings about you being here. On the one hand, I'm happy to see you again. But on the other hand, I don't think you need to know about what goes on here.
I think he like steps forward and says, "What does go on here?"
We regularly arrange to sell our children to the Shadow Court. Not all of them, some of them, and you were one.
Why would you sell children?
He says, the questions you're asking are very complicated, Weary. And he kind of puts his hand on your face where the makeup is, and he like rubs it with his thumb, right, to like
Yeah.
expose the clear skin, right? And he
Mhm.
says, children born of the Grey Rangers are special. Maybe we just leave it at that. And then he turns and goes to get his breakfast.
Hmm. Interesting.
He's clearly
So-
signaling that he knows that what you are like, and he's also like really strongly hinted that he sold you, right?
Yeah. I think there's like a gnashing of teeth, and Weary says, I'll see you again soon, but I have business right now, and sort of like traipse away.
He says, what is your business? It's not clear to us. Why has your company come so deep into the First Forest?
There's like a half smile, and he's like, you have your secrets and I have mine, and leaves.
Indeed. Well, let's get the gang together. So you're all together. Archon, you have a new motivation which you can share with the group at any level you wish. I'll remind you that there's someone being kept in a basement nearby in a cabin. Someone has control of these monstrous creatures and sent one after you. There's the mystery of Magnus, what his deal is. Lots of unanswered questions still. People being brought out of the Bleakwood, right, on a donkey cart.
Hmm.
I need to go to
You're
the
all-
forest today.
You're all enjoying your breakfast. Let's pick up with that scene.
Yeah.
It's boar. It's some kind of sausage or something, some kind of bacon or something from the boar.
After I crack up my egg, then I have business in the forest today with Simon. He has to show something to us.
Simon? I don't think Simon knows.
Simon's
the way-
there, and he looks up and he says, he doesn't know what you're talking about, and he
Yeah.
looks a little worried.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Simon knows the way to the latrines here, let alone the forest.
I think like in the background, like a little ways off, you just see Logan just like holding his hand up, like looking at the sky for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then like all of a sudden there's just like just gets like struck by and he comes like wandering over, and he's like I did it, it worked.
That gets everybody's attention in the camp, right? Like, and everyone's a little like, like in awe of what's happening here, right? And doing their best though to seem like stoic and disciplined, right?
Yeah. And then I start like cooking my breakfast, like very happy with myself that like I managed to enchant this ring.
Indeed.
So are we going patrolling today? Is that the plan?
Weary, I think, looks like visibly upset and angry, and he's like, I think we should go hunting today.
Well, is that what a patrol does?
Hunt?
I mean, they probably kill whatever creatures they find. Is that what do you mean hunting? What do you want to hunt in the forest?
I want to resolve why we are here so we can leave.
Well, the patrol probably still the best way of doing that, don't you guys think?
Yeah. Everybody has his own way to how to call it. The result might be the same.
So you want to bring a boy with us on the patrol?
Well, he will be our guide.
You want a
How
boy to
weird.
lead the...
What do you know about the Bleakwood?
Right, Simon?
Right, Simon.
Hammett, are
Simon
you with
is-
us?
Yeah. Simon just looks very confused. He doesn't know what's going on.
I think Hemet, is definitely here to help out with finding the keeper. And if Archon, those smarter than him, think that the best way is to go off into the Bleak Forest, I think that's a good idea.
Well, I don't necessarily have a huge problem bringing him with us, but I really don't think he knows anything about the Bleakwood Archon.
He doesn't have to know.
To lead, you
But he will
usually
still guide us.
to guide. You usually need to know where you're going.
I think at this point, Magnus sits down and joins you, and he says, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Nothing good in the Bleakwood. No reason to go in there. It's all bad stuff. That's what we're here for, after all, to keep out the evil.
Will you come with us? Let us.
I may be on patrol today, but my style is to work alone.
The Rangers let you range alone? Seems incredibly risky.
Yes, but let's just say he stretches. He's like, I know the Bleakwood fairly well, and I know what to keep my eyes open for. And I've gone arranging many, many times by myself and come back, and so I have Veritas's trust.
I'm sick of that. I take his hands and I say, it's time to tell us what's going on with you. Why are you turning?
Do you scream? Why are you turning yellow?
Yes.
He pulls his hands back, and he tries to wrench his hands free, and he says, I thought perhaps that you were friends, but I see now that you are not. And he stands up, and he goes to take his breakfast somewhere else. And everyone's kind of looking awkwardly, like, what's going on?
Yeah, that was subtle.
I touched him, so I'm again in his mind.
Indeed. Well, so how does this, so what do we learn here? How does this work?
Well,
I have an idea, actually. Maybe like I would have had to do that before. I just thought that I had that poison that makes people think that they're a trusted ally. So maybe I could use that on him and trick him into telling us some more or something. But that's kind of already played out, right?
Well, so how does your power work, Archon? We might learn something anyway.
Mm-hmm.
when I touch somebody, I can spend a focus and have 1 hour of telepathic contact with the person.
Good. Yeah.
And yeah, as I understand it, it's an active and passive telepathy. So they can read my mind, so I can also send them messages. But more importantly, I can read what they are up to without telling my presence.
Well, if you spend the focus, I'll tell you straight away that Magnus intends to harm you all. Magnus intends to harm you all. He means he views you all as a threat, and he intends to hurt you if he gets a chance.
I would tell my companions now, but so that nobody can overhear us again.
Right.
And I think that is an opportunity to give him such opportunity to harm us. Then get a hold of him. He should accompany us into the Bleakwood.
Was that thought recent? Is it because you just pissed him off, or was that his intention the entire time?
Well, he had similar thoughts already while we arrived. It's my second time in his mind, and it's not a pleasant experience, Logan, I have to tell you. It's not as pure academic as your approach to magic is, or can be, should be. But it's very deep in his mind, and he is different than the other rangers. I've told you already. And so he should be the one with us while going into the Bleakwood, and then we can see what he means with harming us and what he thinks we are.
Rather than bring someone who we've made a mortal enemy out of into the Bleakwood, maybe we should bring your friend, Hemet. Didn't you make friends with someone?
Oh, I did. Can you tell if Magnus is a keeper, Archon?
I don't think he's a keeper, but the problem is keepers are able to hide that very well from me. It's I made that experience already. They are very capable of hiding their spiritual essence. So I can't say with certainty, unfortunately. But your daggers might be able to do so. There's a spirit living in them, right?
I shut up immediately, and I tell Logan, I think, who asked about, was it Weary or Logan who asked about Van?
I did.
Logan.
Okay. And I say, I'll go speak to Van and see if he wants to go on patrol with us. We are taking Simon, the kid. Is Van? Do you think Van would be okay with that?
I like how you're all just okay with that plan of like we need to take Simon to the forest.
I think it's more that like Logan's okay with it because I'd rather have him with me than leave him here with the Grey Rangers because apparently they sell children.
Right, true.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think even where
Human trafficking is a theme for this series. Because you all bought a child, just want to remind you that.
Yeah.
You all no, you
Archon
bought one. It was more of a rental.
True.
I think Weary feels the same way. Like he would rather have Simon along, especially after hearing that they like are just selling children and whatnot. So I think he even says like, I think this place is more foul than any creatures lurking in the Bleakwood. This place is festering with evil.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Arco's like, yep.
And I feel like you know much more about this place. What have you learned?
Yeah. So I think since it was suggested, I think I'll go talk to Van and I'll say we're going to go out on a patrol. Would you like to join us?
He says, where are you patrolling to?
It's part of the reason that we're here. There is, I'm not certain what's going on. I just know that the people who are smarter than me, who know the plan, say that we need to go into the Bleakwood. There's a specific tree that we're supposed to find out there to make sure that it doesn't put anyone else in danger.
Why would you want to go into Bleakwood? We spend our whole lives here at the Lodge of the Grey Rangers protecting your kind from the horrors of the Bleakwood, and now you want to just go into it?
You mean our kind? And
people who do not live in the first forest.
Yes, and you are correct. Hopefully, this is definitely dangerous, but we are doing this for the best for everyone. And we appreciate your protection. That's why I'm talking to you. Going into the Bleakwood is something that has to be done to protect people.
Do you have any leverage on him, possibly? Just your friendship?
The friendship, the camaraderie that we've already shared. I'm not sure what kind of incentive I have to make sure that he comes along. I think this. What would it be?
Your friendship can be enough. I mean, that can be.
I think I'll also mention that you and your father had an interest in our party with one of the people in particular. And I think that as soon as we are done here, we want to leave as soon as possible, as is sensible. And I think this might be your best chance to get to know him better.
Roll plus charisma for Parley.
Okay. That is an 8.
He says, I think it's foolish to want to go into the Bleakwood, but you are all free men. We cannot stop you. We have no legal authority to prevent you from going in there. All we can do is remind you of the horrors of the Bleakwood, and that if you go in there, you take whatever comes. It's on you. It's not on us. And yet, though my father would be very angry to hear me agree to this, I do want to protect you. I do want to make sure that you all return. In particular, I'm interested in making sure that Weary returns.
Since you seem a little bit conflicted, how about if you at least travel with us up to the edge of the wood? And then once past there, you can make your decision.
I do wish to get to know Weary a little bit better. I need to know, though, that he is going to be comfortable with what he might learn. And so I think it would be best if he I think he should come with us as he is. This mask that you have put on him is not fooling anyone. Certainly not me.
I think the only one the mask is probably fooling is Murray himself, and it's what makes him most comfortable. And I think that understanding what's happening to him and becoming more comfortable with himself is something that may come with time. Do you have a specific help that you think you might be able to offer him?
Just grab your things. I'll take you as far as you need to go.
Okay.
And then that'll be the end of it.
Thank you.
Well, so are we going to just jump straight to the journey deep into the Bleakwood?
I think I've taken care of all the prep that I need to.
Okay.
Also, I haven't told anyone about the Nightmare Machine.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, is that something that you've made aware of people or not? I guess not. Indeed.
If Magnus wants an opportunity to hurt me, then yeah. So I will take care that I'm at least for one moment alone. If he wants to take that opportunity to attack me, he can do so. If he wants to plan for another day, that's fine as well.
Magnus will leave you alone for now. But you can tell through your connection with him that he's biding his time. He's waiting for a moment, right? He's also angry. He's really, really angry. He has a lot of anger and grief as well in his mind right now.
I dive deep into that feeling. I'm still connected with it.
Yeah, very, very angry, very, 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 very grief-stricken at the moment. Yeah. So, any other preparations before you head in?
Am I able to repair my bow, or do I need to buy a new one?
Yeah, it's shattered. Yeah.
You probably just need to snag the one from the boy again.
Oh yeah, right. I gave him my ragged bow.
Yeah, you can take your ragged one back from Simon, and he will be very sad.
I think I'll just say I'm borrowing it, and I also tell him I want him to stay close and not to trust any of these people.
He says, "What's going on, Weary? Why does Archon want to take me into the forest? I don't know what's happening."
I'm not sure what Archon's plans are, but I think that you are safest with us and not in the care of these people. They are not what they seem.
He says, but they seem friendly enough. I mean, someone got me my breakfast this morning, and some of them we were playing games and target practice. We were shooting arrows, and they seem nice enough.
Sometimes it is best to be most cautious around the people that are being the nicest to us.
Life lessons.
to cheer him up, since he had his bow taken away from him. I let him lead Jack, my dog.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here, you can take care of him, and I'll give him a little bundle of sugar cubes, and I'm but not too much.
He's happy with that. So, all right. So you guys are kind of going out to the Bleakwood. The only real, did we ever decide what marks the edge of the Bleakwood? I don't know if we ever did, but I will just say that it's kind of, I think there's just maybe a wide clearing that the Rangers have made that helps them mark it off, right? And that's kind of where you saw the donkey in the cart. It's when you saw the donkey in the cart kind of coming out of what appears to be, if you look closely, is kind of a path, a rough path through the wood. And as you are all walking, as you're going into the Bleakwood, it appears very much like the rest of the first forest at first. But as you get a little deeper, you begin to notice strange things here and there, very small things, not like super obvious things, but small, strange little features of the vegetation, of the earth, of the rocks, of that kind of thing, right? I'd like to know from each of you just one little weird detail that you see that makes you kind of like, cock your head to the side a little bit. Whoever wants to go first.
Maybe like the knots of the trees look like their faces crying out in pain sometimes.
Ooh, interesting. I like that. But kind of vaguely, right? Like,
Yeah, like it's like clouds, where you're like,
right, yeah.
that could be one thing or the other.
I'm into that.
I think from time to time we come across stone areas, basically, not really a fairy circle, but like an area where the stones have grown up out of the ground to resemble trees themselves, to resemble small bushes. So it looks like the stones were grown in the same way trees or plants were grown.
Interesting. Logan, what about you?
I think like there are like the mushrooms that grow around here. They just like grow in like tiers, which is like, maybe I've seen that before, but
Like wedding cakes.
yeah, like it's like I don't think I've seen that before.
Interesting. Yeah, what about you, Archon?
I'm quite relieved that the leaves are actually not 6-fingered or 8-fingered.
Right. That was just a feature of the dream. Yeah.
Just the presence of the eight-legged sheep. However, I have the feeling that wherever we go, that the branches are closing up. We never can see the sky anymore. But
Yeah, I think that's good.
hallucinating. Yeah.
It gets like kind of like darker and more overcast, like more like just, yeah. Good. So Van is walking alongside you, weary. You guys are just making your way. The forest doesn't seem particularly dangerous, if I'm being honest. Like there's not like there's no like distant howling or growling of monsters or anything like that. Maybe you're a little weirded out at first just because of the reputation of the place, but eventually you start to get into a rhythm, and you're walking for a good part of the day, and Van's made it really obvious that he knows what you're looking for, and he's just like, whatever, we'll just go there. I know what you're looking for. Like,
Okay.
like if you're talking about a fucking tree, I know what you're talking about, and so he's going, and he's with you, and he says. And he says, so did our father tell you that we are brothers?
Oh, no. He told me very little, and certainly not that.
He's like, oh, well, that may be the one.
I guess you were the lucky one.
Lucky is one way of putting it. I don't know if living your days out in the middle of an ancient forest where very few people ever come through, and which all of your neighbors and colleagues are sullen and have nothing to talk about except the same things they saw on patrol, like they do every day. You've seen the world. You've gone out and done things. You're here with this interesting collection of people, no doubt on your way deep into the bleak wood for some sort of adventure. I think you were the lucky one.
I guess in a strange way it was a kindness, but it doesn't feel like it right now. What is it that we are? How is it that you look normal and I look like this, and then like show the weird skin?
Says I don't look completely normal, and he raises up his sleeve and shows that his arm is the same, but his face looks normal, but his arm does not. This
So
is
how
we have our ways of hiding things as best we can.
is
It's best we
it?
don't talk about that.
Is it our nature that we are hiding?
Mm. It is an attempt to blend in.
How is it that I can also blend in that I don't like seeing my skull in mirrors?
You you benefit. You have benefited your whole life from Shadow Court magic, right?
I suppose.
Far more sophisticated and powerful than what we do here in the First Forest.
Why is it actually? Does Dunderworld have a whatchamacallit read a person move? Like
No, but you
to
can.
know if somebody is lying or not?
I'll just tell you he's not.
But well, I just wanted to ask him. I'm like, why? What is the true purpose of the Great Rangers being here? I don't believe that it's to save everybody else from the horrors of the forest.
No, it is not. Our purpose is an old one, and you are right. It has nothing to do with saving the southerly lands from anything in the Bleakwood. Although, having said that, as of late, there have been some strange things coming out of the Bleakwood. But that hasn't always been the case. We are a mission, a rescue mission, refugee relocation, you could say.
For our people, and I sort of like point to my weird ass skull.
Yes, yes, our people. But do not think you are not a man. You are a man, very much so.
Clearly.
What are you all doing? All this conversation. I don't know if you guys can overhear this conversation or not, but what you can if you wish. Logan, what are you up to?
I think I've actually guided Simon a little further away to give them some privacy. It seems like a private moment.
Sure.
And I'm trying to.
Jack.
Yeah. Well, yes, Jack's very. He's got very very good eavesdropper's ears. He's probably heard the whole thing anyways.
Right. Yeah.
But
He's a very good donkey.
yeah, well, I won't let anyone else know that. But I'm trying to figure out what's up with this forest. Is it even magical in nature? Is there even anything to be worried about in here? Obviously, there's some kind of strange creatures that may be breeding in here, or they might be being manifest in some other way, and I'm trying to figure that out mostly. Looking for subtle signs of if these creatures just naturally occur here, they're going to have dens and things like that. If they don't, then I could probably figure out something about them.
Yeah, roll discern realities.
Okay. 11.
Nice. Ask your first question.
Okay.
And I'm going to cut to somebody else.
Yeah, and in addition to that, if there is something arcane about this, then I will get to know a little known secret. But my first question is, what here's not what it appears to be?
Yeah, there's nothing particularly magical about the forest. In fact, the only thing magical about the forest or about this area that you can detect is whatever connection Brandon Barkbender has to it, right? And that's a fairly recent development in terms of the overall history of this region.
Right, yeah.
It's just more woods.
Just more forest.
It's just woods with a reputation. How do you know that, though? Or, well, I'm not technically. You don't have to tell me that, but I'd be curious, just what your sense of why that might be the case.
Because it's all just it all just ties back to Brendan. Everything about this is such a recent change that there's nothing there's no ancient magic here. It's just
even the weird things like the mushrooms and the rocks and stuff. It's not. There's nothing particularly magical about it, right?
Yeah,
it's all natural.
Yeah. Okay.
Hemet, what about you during all this? What are you up to?
So I think I'm actually scouting ahead a little bit.
Sure.
Since Van and Van seems to know where he's going, and Simon's supposed to. I think that I'm basically
Right.
just riding a little bit ahead, trying to scout out, make sure nothing's going to ambush us.
Yeah, you could do it as certain realities as well.
Okay. Snake Eyes.
Oh, okay, great. Hold that thought. We're going to get to that. Good. Archon, what about you?
The strange thing is, I had nearly forgotten why we are in the forest, since I'm not thinking too much about Simon, and so have I nearly forgotten about the dream. But it seems that my fellows know what's going on and what we are doing here and why we are moving through the forest, and I open my brain as much as I can here, like to see the spirits going on. And there's, I mean, this world is strange, and
Absolutely.
it's a risky behavior, but yeah, I'm help myself.
Roll
So-
discern realities as well.
Oh,
I'll give you some beyond the veil answers.
yes, it's an 11.
Nice. You can ask one question.
Yeah, and I can also ask what is about to happen.
Ah,
What the spirits are up to. Like, are they on the jump? And which spirits?
Hemet is about to discover a really old elven shrine. Let's take a quick break. Just a quick bio break. Mysteries, mysteries, mysteries. I'm gonna get to him in a minute. Logan, ask me another question.
Kind of in regards to, like, I'm still looking for this machine. Like, what should I be on the lookout for?
The machine. What have you heard about the machine?
So I've
Doesn't mean it's true, but just what have you heard?
right, like I said before, like it is wildly inconsistent stories. That this could be like a great machine that drives itself, and is destructive in its own nature. Others say that it's as small as a music box. It's just like all that is known, like, for sure, is that it's powerful.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you that you're headed in the right direction. You are on your way, but out of character, the stories you've heard are amalgamations of the truth, right? They're bits of the truth all smashed together and twisted around. But yeah, what was the exact wording of the question?
What should I be on the lookout for?
Got it. With regards to this machine, this nightmare machine, I think we called it, or whatever. All I can say is you're headed in the right direction, but you sense that the machine itself is not here. You're getting two conflicting feelings, and you should be on the lookout for why that's the case, right? There are stories of machines that can exist in two places, right? Or that are sometimes in two places. Or sentient, right?
Right.
How do you know all that, just out of curiosity? What's your feeling, or what you're having?
It's like, if you've trained enough and studied enough and encountered enough magical mysteries like this, it's a feeling like deja vu. Like something remembered and forgotten. That's how you can tell that, like, it's something that is may be both here and elsewhere.
Okay. You want to give me another question, Archon?
Yes. Which is something I even have a character move for. I can ask also into the spiritual world, who is really in control here?
Oh, that's a really good question. I suppose, in a real basic sense, the Grey Rangers are. There is no like big evil, if that makes sense. There is no overarching sort of like malignant force that is puppet stringing this situation, right? Like, or puppet mastering the situation. It's nothing like that. The Grey Rangers have done this a bunch. The Grey Rangers have made this trek a lot. And Van seems completely in control and not nervous whatsoever. And now, this Elven Shrine, you are sensitive to that just because that was kind of what your purpose for coming here, right? And learning about, like, what happened, why did your people kill these elves or whatever, right? And that's a whole thing. But that's all in the past. It's all old news. Okay, so, and I'll even go so far as to say you don't even feel particularly like have a bad feeling, right? Like, there's no grim portent in the air, right? Like, it's just thing. Van says, we're not all clear, of course. Just us and some of our other relations. Some of us have yellow skin, some of us have blue skin, some of us have red skin.
Well, Does the like whatever skin you do develop, does it say anything about you in particular? Or it's just some random occurrence of whatever.
If a blue man and a blue woman mate, they make a blue child.
I guess that makes sense.
If a blue woman and a yellow man mate, they cannot make a child.
So our father is like us then.
Yes. And our mother. And our sister.
Are they all back at the camp?
Our mother died some time ago. But our sister, yes, she is there. One of the lucky ones.
Well, at least you have a home. I belong to no one and no place, right?
It's like, this is a very, very endearing and sentimental moment for me.
Is he like actually, or
No, please.
yeah?
No.
Like it seems like it's not. But he is telling the truth.
He's totally not lying to you. Yeah, he's not lying to you.
So he's just kind of weird. Okay. Interesting.
And so, Hemet, you find to your eyes it looks like a silvery temple or something, right? It's 3 shiny silvery domes, each the size of like a small house, and each connected with like silvery corridor, right? Making something like a triangle. And to your eyes, it looks like some sort of fabulous, like temple, some sort of like, place of worship deep in the woods or something like that, right? It has an aura of mystery and, the way the little bits of sunlight glint off the silver, right? To our eyes, to the viewer's eyes, it looks incredibly futuristic. It looks like a research station on Mars or something, right? That kind of thing. What do you do? You just find it, you see it.
I think when I first see it, I come up short, and then I think I, ride around it to. Is it overgrown in any way? Has the?
No, it's really not. Like it's almost like the moss and the tree cover, like or the moss and the growing grasses and stuff, like kind of stay away, right, or kept away in some way.
So in that case, I kind of keep to the edge of the forest around it, basically, not going into that perimeter. And I kind of circle it. If there's no action, I think I actually call out to see if anyone's inside.
No response.
And then I think I report back and say, I've found something. It is quite strange. It appears to be a religious building.
Van says, it is no religious building. We should stay away from it. And continue. Press forward.
What if it's a danger?
It is no danger.
Well, we haven't seen much
Is it
danger.
elven?
Say that again, Archon.
Is it elven? Is it like elven symbols?
I'm not sure I would know what they look like. I think it would be best if you saw it with your own eyes if you have questions.
Van says, I really cannot stress enough that there is nothing there and that we really should press forward. I have my own duties to attend to back at camp. I'm going to take you to the tree so that you can all get this out of your system. But then we don't have time for these diversions.
Archon, what's the import of the tree once again?
Doesn't know.
The Archon doesn't know why we're going to the tree. It was his idea in the first place.
What do you say, Archon, when Logan asks you what's the importance of the tree?
Well, there are many trees here, but like one might be different, and but let's first investigate this building. Whatever the Grey Rangers told us, if we do the opposite, it's the best we can do. That's what I learned from this place.
I don't know about any of that, but if you don't have any important reason that we should go to the tree, I say we check this out.
Yes.
Van says, I really, really want to express to you, my new companions and friends, that there is nothing there. There is nothing that you need to see. We, the Grey Rangers, have dealt with it, and we have sorted it years ago. So it would just be a waste of your time.
I see no problem with this. I see no reason to go there. There was no danger. I yelled. I checked it out. I didn't see anything. It's fine if we don't go, but if you have an invested interest, an academic interest, we can stop by, and I don't see why Van would object so much to it.
It's because he's a robot person.
That's
Is there something more interesting about the tree, Van?
Oh, yes, there's something interesting about the tree. I assume you know about the tree if we're going there.
Well, Archon's kind of an unreliable source sometimes.
Wait, let me get this straight. None of you know why you're going to the tree.
Archon was supposed to be the one who knew, and now apparently he doesn't.
Simon knows.
Simon, do you know anything about the tree?
He puts a sugar cube in his mouth. He has no idea.
I don't think Simon knows Archon.
It does. And now, Hammett, ask your dagger what we shall do.
Now we're asking weapons what we're supposed to do. No,
Just like
no.
outing every secret there is.
Van looks at you and says, "Perhaps I was the lucky one, brother."
Yeah. Weary smiles.
So Archon, you were interested in checking out this place that I found. It's along our path. We can check it out on the way back. I think the bigger mystery right now for all of us is probably to find out what Simon's interaction with the tree is. I thought you knew what was happening, so let's follow your lead.
Yeah.
Okay. I come close to you. I touch you, but I don't enter your mind. Just to mention. Hammett, I've been at this place. It's a long, long, long time ago. My people were here. I can't remember much because, we forget everything what is too long in the past. But it's something important. We did something here. I'm absolutely sure that the Grey Rangers couldn't solve it, whatever they say. Please, let's go.
And is the building more important than the tree and Simon?
Are you all at the building at this point? Do you go there? Or
Yeah,
it's a series of
Sure.
buildings, a structure.
get closer. And I still have one question.
Sure, go for it.
And about this building, what here's not what it appears to be.
There's a reason why the tree cover can't approach it. There's some kind of force keeping it out, or why the grass and stuff can't grow over it.
And if any of this is magical in nature, I should get the benefit of the arcane learning, which is
Not.
not. Okay.
No. And that's the part that really, maybe throws you for a loop a bit. You can tell that there's some kind of force keeping the tree, the overgrowth away from the structure, but it does not feel magical.
They just salted the earth or something here, I guess. I don't know.
Hammett,
There's no hunting the keepers move, right? Like looking for signs of keeper activity and stuff.
No, not in particular.
But I think I look at Logan meaningfully and this is strange, sort of implying maybe this is keeper shit.
Van is there. He says, "This has nothing to do with anything. This is old, 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 and done. Please let us continue."
So your only concern is wasting time, but your arguing is wasting time. Just let us look through it, get what's needed, and then we'll move on.
Let's just do a 5-minute poke through, and then we'll go to the tree. All right, Van?
Unless you aren't being honest with us, and maybe there's something else you need to tell us.
This is. I will tell you this. Whatever you do, do not try to touch it.
Touch
And then-
what?
It. And he looks at the structure, the whole 3-domed structure. And then he leaves.
Don't touch the building.
Don't touch it. And then he just turns and he says, I'll be over here having a ration.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like grab a living branch, break it off of a tree, and then like throw it towards the building.
Yeah, and the branch just like pops and sizzles and disintegrates.
I feel like that would be one of Archon's flags right there, right?
And I'll even give you another DR roll since you're kind of investigating by throwing the branch on the building if you want, Logan.
Okay.
With an 8 if you need it.
It's like the Jurassic Park scene. Ah!
All right, ask away.
What here's not what it appears to be.
Yeah, there's some kind of like force. Since you're kind of a storm wizard, you might have you might be able to sort of better articulate this in your mind what might be happening, even though because this is not something that your people in this world should know anything about. But basically, it's some kind of maybe an electrical force, some kind of lightning force that's around the structure that causes the thing to burn.
Okay. So it's some kind of a device that either is containing or generating this energy, but it's not magical. It's like my machines back in my workshop. They aren't.
It's certainly no kind of magic that you're aware of. Right?
Yeah, it's not arcane. It's just advanced. It's much. I don't know
It's
how
like-
That's a good way of putting it. It's an advanced procedure.
So it's like the machines at the Frost Tavern thing.
beyond that, way beyond that. This is something that I don't know who could have built this.
Archon, do you see Elven writing around this? Is this Elven?
Archon, are you looking around?
I think it is.
Yeah, in
Um,
fact, I will tell you that there are painted on the structure every now and then, like what are essentially like it's like Elven script for like numbers, like identification numbers. It doesn't mean anything to you, the numbers, but you recognize it. It doesn't look quite Elven, sort of like Elvenish. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Little bits of little bits of the way the words are marked and things like that make you think that might be.
Friends, you see me ripped apart because I don't know. Like I have two souls in my body right now, and I feel like one is lasting to go to this tree with Simon, and the other one wants to explore that building.
Well,
I
you can't
need
touch-
your help.
You can't touch the building. I'm telling you that right now.
I trust you.
What here is useful or valuable?
As you're walking around the perimeter of this building, you will feel that a certain part of the earth is warmer than the other parts of the earth.
Okay. And I'll even like use a stick to like dig the ground away a little bit, or use my staff to dig the ground away a little bit.
You may have to dig a little deeper, but it definitely feels warmer.
Okay. Is it like the structure like continued under there?
It's unclear. You'd have to,
Okay.
if you want to get in there and really start digging, you can sort it out. But
And that's valuable.
oh yeah,
Okay. Like, what should I be on the lookout for?
you should be on the lookout for. You should be on the lookout for whatever device it is. A device creating this energy field around the building. And there could be a connection here.
Everyone have a quick look around and see if you spot anything that you might think would generate or contain. It would probably look like a strange machine, or perhaps a large, just solid metal object. If I have my guess right.
I check for traps.
There's a trap there. It's touching the walls.
Yeah.
That's what activates it. There's nothing. There's no other thing. If you guys look around, just look around. You're not going to find anything in the immediate area,
So we got to go inside.
or just start digging on that warm spot.
Yeah, I'll just start digging on that. I think
I think Van sees you at some point. He's got like a piece of beef jerky that he's kind of gnawing on, and he says, "What are you doing?
there's something here.
What do you mean
Van.
something there?"
There's something here. I want to see what it is.
He goes. He's just looking. He's just kind of observing curiously what you guys are doing.
If you want to help, I'm sure I have another shovel.
Yeah. Give me the adventuring gear for shovel.
Sure.
And Hemet actually will join in with the shovel. Anything to get through here quicker, right, Van?
He's like, he now actually seems really interested in what you're doing. Before he was kind of like, "Oh, just leave it, leave it." But now he's kind of like, "Huh." And as you guys keep digging and keep digging, you get to like what appears to be like a sort of, it's a kind of a gunmetal gray box, and this box has like big, thick cable-like tubes coming off of it that go into the ground, like toward the buildings. Right? What do you do?
I'm like looking at it, and I look at Weary, and I'm like, this isn't necessarily a trap, but it's probably dangerous just in and of itself. It seems to be the source of whatever's keeping that building doing whatever it's doing.
Archon, while you were searching the perimeter of the area, I assume you were looking around for this metal box or whatever, you're going to find little things every now and then, evidence that your people were here in this area at one point. What do you find?
It's a little dagger
Mhm.
which we use for rituals.
It's very old.
And,
This is super old and rusted out.
Totally, and the symbols on it explain that this dagger is used to enchant something, or to take the holiness out of something, away from what kind of god was worshipped here, and why did my people want to stop this worshiping? Is it? I'm sure Weary, he has seen half of the world. He must know something about this, the god which was worshipped here.
Weary, you know nothing.
I've never seen this before, Archon. This is far before my time, I'm sure.
But there will be evidence. Like there will be more evidence, small things, coins, just bits of detritus, maybe markings in the trees that indicate that your people were here, camped out here for maybe a long time, right, around this area. So you've dug up this gunmetal gray box with these like big thick tubes coming out of it that kind of burrow deeper into the ground toward the structure. What do you do, Logan?
Well, I was seeing if Weary wanted the opportunity to mess with it first, but I would do the same kind of thing I did with the thing. I would toss like a living thing at it and see if it.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Does it look like the cable cord things will come off of the box so I can lift the box out?
No, you would probably have to like cut them with a sword or something.
Okay. I look at Van. I'm like, did you guys set this up? Do you know anything about this?
And he says, "This is completely unknown to me."
I'm pretty sure I can. If I take this box out of here, it's going to change this whole situation, and we can probably go inside of there. Have the Grey Rangers ever been inside of there?
No, we have not. The older Rangers, the older Rangers say that, well, they call them space aliens. We don't really know what that means. That's what they refer to them as.
Them. What do you mean them?
The people who created this,
Are they inside?
I don't know.
Well,
But the older men say that you should always leave space aliens and space alien things alone. You should never mess with it.
so they're from another country called Space. It's a
They-
strange name for a place.
They are from the sky, from the stars, but not our stars, not these stars.
I look around at everyone and I'm like, should we proceed further into this mystery?
It does seem like a forbidden place.
This is a little bit this is a little bit of like crossing the Rubicon moment, I think, like out of character. Like I'm pretty sure if I just take my shovel to these cords, it's going to
You will get
It'll-
electrocuted.
Either that, or it'll drop the field, right?
right, it'll probably drop the field, and I don't know that we'll be able to fix it, and we'll have either opened up a can of worms or got ourselves into a treasure trove, one or the other.
Yeah, but I think it's most interesting to go in, right?
I mean, does this have anything to do with our mission here, like dealing with the keepers?
Well, maybe the keeper's inside, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's snake men in there, but that's just my
Does
guess.
any of this have anything to do with the keeper? I mean, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No one knows. I
Kenneth,
think
it will definitely attract them.
so. I think Hemet, kind of turns to Van. We're done digging, and I kind of nod off to the side. We both go over to the tree where he was and start, snacking a little bit,
Hmm.
waiting for the smarter people to figure out what to do.
He says, Hemet, listen, our people, the Grey Rangers, we are not from this world. We have traveled here from a path that is lit by the tree. The tree is a beacon of sorts. That building and buildings like it are known to my people back on our home planet. We call them space alien buildings, and we do not mess with them. Or so I'm told. I was born here.
So I say, so the tree looks like these buildings?
No. The tree is cerulean in color.
Oh. So all I know is that the tree appears to Archon, and we've been directed to go there. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen once we get there. It has something to do with Simon, but I'm kind of thinking this is a distraction, but who knows what dangers lurk here.
Well, or perhaps they set Archon on the path to the tree because they knew that this place was in the like along the path to it.
Very possible.
If you believe you are here because of dreams, if it is dreams that have led you to this place, then I think it is calling to you. Our planet, our home planet, is calling to you. It has summoned you. It does this in dreams. Many of us dream of it.
And you've been to your home planet?
I have not made the journey. I was born here, and I have not gone down the dim path to Carcosa. But I may someday.
And that is your homeland?
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm kneeling with the dagger in my hand on the ground, and my mind
It's forbidden,
is
Archon.
going into the dagger, because I'm a broger dwarf. I can discern realities about someone if
Yeah.
they made an object.
Yeah, I mean, this is
I
totally.
need to find out. I can't leave this place without finding out what my people were
You
doing.
could do a DR, go for it. Or maybe even spout lore. It might even be a spout lore, honestly. Right? Because it might be something about the nature of what your people were up to. That's more like, and that may not be
Yes.
something you observe as much as you know. So.
Yeah, the dwarf ability of the Psion allows me to roll discern realities, but I'm totally into spell.
Yeah, let's just pick a spell one. I mean, I think this may not be a
Yeah.
seeing through the veil thing as much as just a knowing what's happening thing.
Yes. I rolled 11.
The interesting thing is that your people had this place under siege. The useful thing is, whatever was in there eventually died from the siege. They didn't last. And then your people left.
And it's forbidden to go in there, Archon.
But that's what your people would have done. They would have laid siege to it and just eventually like waited until the people who were under siege like died from lack of supplies, lack of whatever. But it seems like your people never actually made it inside.
I feel this place creeping onto me. If I stay longer here, it will get me. It's time to leave.
Let's just cut the session there. All right. I think everybody hit flags, right? It seemed like everybody was doing flag stuff. Does anybody think is anybody unsure about whether they hit a flag or not?
I don't remember if I specifically tried to hit someone's flag.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, so everyone just make your case for why you think you hit a flag if you did. Logan sounds like maybe you didn't. Weary.
I was trying to hit the challenge in institution with.
I think that worked out. Hemet, what about you?
Yeah, that was the challenge. Challenge someone's belief? No, challenge someone's faith in an institution. So what was yours, Weary? It was ask me about some sort of obscure history.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Then you should both take that. What about you, Archon? Did you hit one?
I wanted to hit Weary's, ask me about some sort of obscure history, but I suffered because he didn't know anything.
That's right. Yeah, he tried. That was beyond his reach, unfortunately.
But I tried to give you a chance to fit into the Grey Ranger Society by pointing people.
By doing that.
Didn't make it any further with Flex, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, then let's go to alignment statements. Defend those weaker than you, Hemet. Yeah, I think you kind of rushed into their battle. I'll take it. And they were definitely like.
I cried for help because of that. Yeah.
Right, indeed. Archon, upset a relationship. Let's see what happens. I think you did that, Archon. I feel like you were purposely fucking around with like Magnus and all the different things going on.
Yeah. Bam.
So, mark an XP there. Logan, discover something about a magical mystery. Yes. And Weary, yours is not written down here. What's it?
That's the go into danger without a plan one.
I don't think you did that. Did you do that?
No, not really. Because my reaction to the octopus thing was to get out of the way, not
right.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we learn something new and important about the world? Yeah, a lot. Many things. So mark an XP there. Did we overcome a notable monster enemy? Sure, the weird creatures in the forest. Mark an XP there. Did we loot a memorable treasure? What do you guys think? Oh, maybe the that weird. You haven't looted it per se, but like that box in the ground might be a good.
Yeah, I've done that. We made I made an enchanted item. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really. Yeah, I don't know if that's really like looting so much. It's just doing a thing. But I think the box will count, so you guys can mark an XP there.
Okay.
And otherwise, I think we're good. Cool, awesome. Anybody have any questions or anything else?
Yeah, I don't think that I see a flag that I hit. So
Right.
just pass on that.
There are plenty of failed rolls for XP this session.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Lots of failed rolls. Pushing
Yeah.
the story forward. Good.
Should we just assume we know nothing about Carcosa, or would a wizard or a scion or a
You might.
member of the
it's
Shadow
possible.
Court know
Yeah, you might,
something
be able,
about?
you might be able to spot lore on some stuff like that, especially you, Logan. That might be something you're more like as the pieces are coming together. Right?
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm looking for a dome machine now.
You're looking for something. You don't know what you're looking for, or you don't know precisely, but you're headed in the right direction. So
Yeah.
I think
yes, we've got mysteries. A couple of them are not connected to one another. Well, they're all kind of connected, but not their motivations aren't necessarily connected. That's important. And yeah,
there's a lot going on. It was a really cool session.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Do we really just have one more session of this?
That's it. But the name of the next series is The Path to Dim Carcosa. So
Right.
it's all just flowing into that, right? So
Has that been posted yet?
yep, those are up. Yep, those are up for the next time.
I'm not in.
Oh, did you not make it? Well, just if you want to be, just get on the wait list. It usually shuffles around before the end.
I'm pretty sure I'm not in either. So
Then it might be we may have to jump forward in time a little bit to find some justification for why you're all there.
The end of session moves were enough to get me to level. Do we have enough time to rest while we're?
You can level. Yeah, while you're like kind of digging around, sorting out this box and shit, and all that other stuff. Yeah.
okay, good. I am in Dim Carcosa sessions. Okay.
Okay, cool.
You didn't know.
Who's all going to be there? I wonder. Let's check it out.
Well, I think
Fraser, Christo, me, Jesse Larimer. I don't know.
I bet Crusoe drops before, so somebody gets on the wait list because his schedule kind of like shifts around a lot, like last minute. So, that's not always true, but like he sometimes has things come up. But he's usually pretty good about giving us plenty of notice and stuff. So, cool. Yeah, that was super fun. It's super complex, right? And all kinds of like weird little twisty mysteries. And I've done this like Refugees of Carcosa thing before. This is a thing I've done in the past. This is the way I'm doing it now is a little bit more. I think it's a little bit less like when I've done this before, it's been more of like a dreamy thing, This one is more of like there are real practical, like sort of like repeatable things going on here, right? Clearly the Grey Rangers have been doing this. You guys are not going to like how you get to the path to Dim Carcosa. It's not fun or desirable. And you're going to have a lot of like really, really complicated questions about Simon next session that you're going to have to resolve. And there's the open question of why the fuck does Malgoliant want him over there? Like there's all kinds of like things which are that whole thing is really funny. I'm really surprised that you guys aren't. Well, I'm not surprised, but like, I would think that your hand is gonna be forced next time when it comes to Simon. Like, you're going to have to call Archon on this or make him justify like why any of this is going on. Right? I'm not gonna say why.
Yeah.
But,
I've been
Who's Simon?
I've been kind of like intentionally not dealing with it, so it sort of like ramps up the tension.
There's gonna be a like sort of put up or shut up moment with Simon, and it's gonna depend, and it's gonna say a lot about your characters how it proceeds. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the Keeper and all of that is like really MacGuffin-y. Like we don't even know what they're the keeper of or.
Well, so the way this is kind of shaping up, the way I've kind of intended it to have the feeling of is, I want it to always feel like, at least to as players, that you guys are the bad guys, right? That like you guys, there's no real reason why you should be killing these people, right? Like many of them have not done anything. Now Gaul was kind of a bad guy because he was like doing weird suicide experiments or whatever with his servants, but like as a general matter, it's not entirely clear they're all connected, even though the custom move says they are. And it's not even entirely clear that they're up to something bad. Like, it's all meant to be a little ambiguous, and it's all meant to be, and the idea is, as the series progress, like, is there anything there at all? Or are you guys the bad guys? Like, that's the theme I'm interested in exploring. Like, are you guys the ones who, like, are fucking this up, or who are, or whatever. Like, that's what I intend for it to be. Like, so that part of it is supposed to feel that way. It's supposed to feel like a little like, well, what are they doing? What is the purpose of all this, right? As in the short term, they're just an excuse to get to where the adventure is, right? But they're also implicated in what's going on too. So in the sort of like area and the region and the place.
Right. I just mean like this series in particular. I'm like, is there even a keeper here? I don't even know.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, that's the funny thing about it. Like, I've purposely not given them like physical things that you can use to identify them, right? Because I want it to feel like you guys just might be out there randomly killing people based off rumors, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like there may not be anything. Like it could just be the church in a weird they're in a really weird, overzealous place right now, and they hear a rumor about someone, and you guys hear a rumor, and you begin investigating, and you're like, oh, that's the guy, kill him, right?
Yeah, it's just a witch hunt.
Right, exactly, right, yeah. So it's supposed to feel a little bit like that, right? Like,
Yeah,
maybe there's not really, like, maybe there is a person who's here doing this thing that like that the church would disapprove of if they knew about it, but whether they're part of some grand conspiracy is an open question, right?
Yeah. I think this is probably my favorite character to be playing too, because there's so much
Weary's
going
super
on.
fun. Yeah, Weary comes with tons of baked in backstory, and it's fun to explore. I'm glad we're getting to see a lot of that. We got to see a lot of like Logan's last time. Like Logan's like kind of character backstory was a big important part of last series, and I'm glad we got to explore that and learn a little bit more. And now we're getting to see a lot of Weary's backstory, and even just a touch of Archon too, like with the dwarves and stuff. And I'm having fun, like kind of taking the input that you guys gave me on session 1 and recontextualizing it, like inside of what I knew was going to be the overall story. Right. That's been really fun.
Yeah, it's a super interesting cross section of Dungeon World and Dungeon Planet. I feel like we're getting close to that.
Yeah,
So-
we're definitely we're creeping up on Dungeon Planet territory. It kind of depends on how like you guys don't have to do this like Elven Shrine thing, right? Like this is not. This is like, I mean, maybe I mean, if you want to find answers in there, sure, there'll be answers in there, but none of it. You could totally just go to the tree and start doing whatever you're supposed to be doing there, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But we don't even know
What
what's
is that even?
we don't even know, like,
you don't even know. I know,
like,
right?
besides Van like kind of saying the tree is interesting. Now we have no justification for going to the tree.
Yeah. It's all very a little up in the air. So
Yeah.
cool. All right, I'll let you guys go. That was super fun. I'm gonna stop
Yep.
this.